The passenger jet had just taken off when the pilot suddenly spotted a terrifying sight ahead. In that instant, a collision caused both engines to explode and fail. Captain Sully tried repeatedly to restart them, but it was no use. The 155 passengers in the cabin had no idea they were in mortal danger. The flight attendants could only calm them down, claiming the plane had just hit some rough turbulence. Meanwhile, the co-pilot immediately pulled out the emergency checklist and began following the procedures for dual engine failure. Captain Sully contacted the tower right away to request assistance. Once the tower learned what was happening, they immediately ordered the flight to return to the airport. But the window of opportunity was closing fast. After just those few seconds of communication, the plane's altitude had already dropped dangerously low. Below them was a bustling city. Captain Sully instantly realized there was no way to turn back. Their only shot at survival was an emergency landing on the river. But a water landing was extremely risky. If the fuselage or wings hit the water first, the entire plane would break apart within seconds. That's why the tower kept insisting he land at a nearby airport. But Sully knew the engine failure left no room to make it there. Soon after, the flight's signal disappeared from radar. The plane was now just 500 meters above the ground. The pilot issued an emergency landing alert. In the cabin, flight attendants instructed passengers to brace themselves for the violent impact. Once everyone was in position, Captain Sully gripped the controls and, drawing on a lifetime of flying experience, fought to bring the plane down safely. In the end, thanks to Sully's extraordinary skill, the aircraft touched down on the Hudson River in an almost perfectly balanced position. The fuselage was intact, but their crisis wasn't over. Freezing river water rushed into the cabin. Captain Sully personally entered the passenger compartment, making sure everyone had their life vests on, and ordered an immediate evacuation. Flight attendants opened the emergency exits and deployed the inflatable slides. Passengers climbed out through the windows and stood on the wings. Both passengers and crew evacuated the plane calmly and in order. Before long, nearby rescue teams arrived on the scene and began bringing everyone aboard boats. The flight attendants stayed until the very last moment before leaving the plane, by which point the water inside had risen to a full meter deep. Captain Sully continued checking each cabin, making sure no one was left behind. To him, their lives always came first. Finally, he grabbed the flight data recorder and evacuated the aircraft. In this heart-stopping event, from the bird strike to the successful river landing, just 20 minutes had passed, and all 155 passengers and crew were rescued safely. But after the incident, the Aviation Safety Board launched an investigation into Sully. Engineers reviewed the flight data and pointed out that the left engine was still running before the landing. They questioned whether the captain's claim that both engines had completely failed was accurate. So, do you think Captain Sully's decision was really the wrong one?